YouTube, what the crap's going on? HeirofCarthage here, back in Total War Attila on, yes, the legendary campaign. And it is time, folks, it is time that Sextus besieges the Picts. On the last episode, the Picts ran away from Lord Sextus here and tried to go around behind him. And of course they were defeated massively. Because that settlement is actually still a barbarian settlement, which is very defensible as opposed to the crappy Colosseum map type Roman settlement. And in any case, we have medium siege towers ready to go. So we are going to fight this battle. Plus I have 2 onager. So I have lots of options here. My infantry should be far superior to anything we're facing from the Picts. They do have a considerable amount of javelins. So my crossbows are going to be quite necessary in cleaning out the Pictish javelin barrages, so we're going to have that because although I have 4 infantry that have a little bit higher health and are a bit tankier, a lot of my infantry are pretty susceptible to missiles, and especially on this difficulty setting, so we will have to be somewhat careful. We're going to start the deployment and we will siege the city. So this setup right here, the only thing that scares me about this is that they could put archers up there on the top, and it wouldn't give me much room to maneuver. But at the same time, it would funnel all the enemies right into one nice little spot for me, and their towers would be relatively easy to destroy, leaving my towers free to move forward pretty much unchecked. And I have some great offensive infantry in these towers. Got my cavalry. There should be some Pictish reinforcements, so we're going to have to make sure that they don't come up behind me, of course. And let's get our Celtic onager can actually deploy pretty far forward. I'm going to put them just outside the range of the towers of the Picts. Switch to flaming shot. We're going to start the battle, and they have a bastion onager. I'm actually thinking I might try and destroy it real quick, just because I don't want it getting a bunch of kills on my infantry. In fact, I'm going to spread out pretty thin, and I'm going to take Sextus back kind of out of the way over here. There we go. So their bastion onager is out of the way, so now we don't have to worry about it getting a bunch of unnecessary kills on me. We can focus on their towers. And let's see. They don't have any archers over here. Interesting. I'm going to go ahead and start moving my towers forward. And look at that. That bastion onager, one shot took out 2 of my artillery pieces. That is a pretty incredible one shot that they got off. But should it surprise me at this point? And the answer is no. No, it really shouldn't. It's going to take a while for my towers to get in position. And I want to kind of clean out some of the Pictish towers first so that I don't take damage from them. I'll move up my crossbows once the towers... Actually, let's leave the crossbows back here till the towers are dealt with. No need in giving the towers unnecessary kills. Indeed it has. So I'm going to take out the other tower. And after that, my onagers, I don't know. We'll just kind of save some ammo and think about it. Look at the townspeople here. Wondering if Lord Sextus will be kind to their Look at this. These barbarians, I mean, making their women walk around in the snow with no shoes. Why would they even be fighting against Roman? Look at this guy. This dude has shoes. Not even offering his shoes to the ladies. He's like, hey, ladies, look at my shoes. How's that barefoot lifestyle? And he's even got a long shirt, too. Look at it. Wow. These people are going to welcome Sextus. I mean, that is, of course, if he doesn't put them to the sword, which is always possible as well. But, yeah, I think they'll be pretty happy to have Sextus around. Okay, my towers are very, very slowly moving forward, and I mean very slowly. I'm going to fast forward, bring my crossbows up. And I definitely need to save as much ammo as possible, my crossbows, to deal with Pictish javelins and Celtic archers. So I'm not going to just throw away ammo on like spear units on the walls and stuff like that. Yeah, right here. That's what I need to target over there. I'm going to pull up right outside their range and then start dropping a withering barrage of flaming crossbow bolts. Okay. Because the javelins are a concern to me. Most everything else here that the Picts can field is not a concern to me whatsoever. Okay, all my men are in position. I don't have... No, what kind of range? Like, what range is this? Like, I see a range coming off, but surely... What is this? This line right here... There's not an enemy tower. I'm trying to figure out what that range line is, and I'm not sure what it is. Okay, I'm gonna get my crossbows to open fire. Alright, so my guys have opened fire, and we're gonna start dealing some pretty hefty damage. Let's see, none of my guys are showing under fire yet. I just want to make sure I don't take any return fire. There's no need for me to. I should outrange javelins and javelin cavalry. But I mean, again, there is like some kind of range line here. Maybe is it the bows? The bows range line is right there. And there's not much I can do about the bows because they outrange my crossbows. I can use my onager on them, though. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and target these javelins, too. Okay, so the javelins are starting to take damage. Again, we just want to make sure we use my crossbows for necessary targets, which is going to be enemy javelins. The Celtic bows definitely concern me, but not quite as much as the javelins do. Nice shooting, onagers, by the way. It's actually really not nice shooting. It was really quite pathetic. So I'm going to move forward, see if I can get a little bit better range. Okay, we're going to push back the javelins. There's a jav cav over here. Let's target it. Let's see if there's even enough places for these towers to make contact with the walls. Yeah, just barely. And then let's bring up the rest of my infantry. Okay, and cavalry and Sextus. Speaking of, searching for reinforcements, which I should have already done, and I do not see any. So we're good. Sextus shouldn't get backstabbed by some random marauding Celtic unit. I'm going to move forward just a bit. The Celtic bows may have range on me. But otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and try and open fire here. Should be a nice blob to fire into. Go ahead and use barrage and precision shot again. Do as much damage as quickly as we can. I am a little bit concerned about these javelins getting flank fire on my men as well. Let's actually, yeah, our guys are coming off onto the walls, so we're going to have to just be quick here. And if the first wave starts getting too wrecked, I'll just slow down. I'm not really happy with the level of damage my crossbows are doing here to the cavalry. It's unfortunately insignificant. Let's try and get a better position, maybe. I'm gonna push up here and engage. Let's go ahead and try and kill the spears that are on the wall. Target these guys. Let's bring these ballistari up. Actually, they can't go any further up the hill. That's going to be the best position they can get. See if we can get those javelins. I may not be able to get in range. Okay, these elite palatini are going to get a little bit swamped here. But we should be able to now give reinforcements. And we're going to be under a lot of javelin fire at this point. Let's try and target all of our crossbows on this javelin unit up in the hill because it has the best position to damage me. And at least I'm getting some fire on it now. It's not going to get this for free. My elite Palatina are making short work of the early defenders here, but they do have bows and other units here that are going to be causing some damage, but at least for the moment, the elite Palatina... Ooh, this one's getting wrecked now by the javelins. Yeah, we're starting to take a pretty bad hailstorm of missiles here. Okay, we need to capture the gates so that I can get my crossbows up here to murder the rest of... Let's get our Jav Cav up here. I'm gonna get my guys repositioned. Okay, their missiles have come into contact with me in melee, which is fine. At least that'll get them to quit firing. And then these units over here, I'm gonna actually go into defensive testudo. I'm actually gonna pull this cavalry back again because... What are you doing? Throwing your javelins at routing units? Brilliant. Okay, I don't know why these javelins came into melee with me, but it was a pretty big mistake. Now, fortunately, I think these javelins cannot get in range of me. And it's time to bring up my infantry reinforcements. This is a bit of a cramped space, but we need to do what we can do. Let's go ahead and get our elite Palatina into combat over here. We need to quickly get the Ballistari up here to get rid of those units. They're trying very hard to get their javelins within my range, and it's not working so far. I'm going to send reinforcements this way to help fight off this blob. There are more skirmishers up here as well. So we definitely need the crossbows up here because we're starting to take some very unpleasant damage. But I think these elite Palatina can at least hold for now. I don't want to lose many of them. Okay, I'm going to start firing here. There we go. Should put some pretty serious wreckage on these guys. Okay, we're going to pretty quickly dispatch these javelins. Once we dispatch them, I can get a little more breathing room here with my Ballistari. Let's get them a little breathing room now. Bring some Legio up here. Okay, this is a bit of a cluster over here. If by a bit of a cluster, I mean a huge cluster. I'm going to try and bring this unit up a little on the flank. Okay, the bows back. I wonder, I'm going to try and fire up and over and into their bows over here. Yeah, it looks like it's going to work pretty brilliantly, actually. Their bows are retreating, and they should. Their cavalry just got some flaming pain rain. I'm going to burn down this. Okay, getting some good pain rain up there, but let's put some fire down over here towards these javelins. Okay, no, why are you repositioning all stupid like that? Just listen. You two face this way. You two face this way. Two face this way. There we go. Okay, they're trying to get cavalry down here into my elite Palatina. Let's see how my crossbows, like if they fire up and over this blob. Woo! Kind of dangerously close to the back of my own men. Let's target this unit that's further back here. And this unit, this javelin unit right here needs to be priority. There's really no room for my other men to maneuver at this point. This is kind of risky, but I actually want to try and get my onager up here into this blob. See if we can potentially cause some big damage with it. We very well might if I get a lucky shot. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That was pretty good. We just burned down a pretty substantial portion of the enemy blob there. I'm going to go ahead and move my onager up a little closer. Okay. We've torn down the barricade. I'm going to see again. I want my guys to fire up and over, but they're not. So, I mean, that's a little too risky for me to shoot into the back of my own men like that. So that blob over there is getting wrecked. The enemy general is up over here. Let's see if we can put a couple of shots into him. I'm starting to get attacked by a pretty good force on this side. And their bows are kind of causing some consistent damage to my crossbows. Okay, let's try one more time to get some flaming shots up here. I'm going to take a pot shot at their general real quick, too. I'm going to take a couple of these damaged Legio. Kind of run backwards and away. Okay, I'm not going to get a whole lot done doing that. There we go. We hit him with an onager shot. That ought to cause most of the remaining troops to rout. I'm going to put Sextus into a testudo and kind of move him forward. Come on, please take a shot up and over these guys, back down into that archer blob back there. That would be great. Just don't fire right into the back of my... Yeah, there's... I wish... Gosh darn it. They're still firing up and into my own men, so the AI's got the better of me there because they're going to cause less friendly casualties to their own troops. And here my guys are just sitting here taking shots. Let's get my cavalry up here to chase down all these skirmish units. I'll kind of give chase to them for a minute so that my guys don't get wrecked. We should rat out their general pretty quick, and here my cavalry should be able to run down the remainder of these skirmishers. Okay, yeah. We should be able to chase down all their skirmishers now. I need a couple of healthy infantry units to get down here and help out, so I'm going to bring them down. Most of my elite Palatina have taken some pretty substantial damage, so I'm going to go ahead and pull back, actually, and let my Legio Comitatenses finish this so that I don't get all my guys killed. Okay, good. Looks like my cavalry have caught up with most of their skirmishers. They've only got a couple of units left. I'm going to take fire at will off here so I don't javelin my own men in the back. We beat back some more of their infantry, so this is going to end up being a successful siege here. We caught up with this skirmisher unit, which is wavering and should rout. They're going to charge me with a Celtic cavalry raider, but it's not going to be able to defeat all these cavalry units that are all over it. And the remainder of the enemy units have routed, so it's going to be a victory for Sextus. Not a battle without losses, but definitely a successful battle. Killing 2,500 Celts, basically, for only a loss of 678, so not bad. I don't think I lost any of my units. Some of them got a little more damage than I would like, but should be good. Yeah, everybody's good. I'm just going to go ahead and occupy. So the Picts have gotten pretty well crushed here, and Sextus should retrain relatively quick, especially if we get a few things done here. First, let's repair that so we can convert it. Tear that down. We don't need the artisans, so we'll tear that down. That won't do me any good, neither will that, and neither will that. Pretty much the whole city's worthless to me, so yay! So I've got to tear all this down pretty much to make it of any value to me. I'll wait to start building in this slot because I want to see what I can put in all the other slots first. So this is going to be cool. I can actually upgrade my generals now, so Sextus is going to be retrained into a Comez general. And so can all my other generals, for that matter. So... and I'd like to do this. The Comez general should be of a lot more value to me than a Palatina guard. In the sense that if I have to use them in combat, they might actually get a few kills against infantry. So definitely want to switch all my generals over to the Comez, which is a heavy cavalry unit armed with a Spatha. So nice melee damage, good versus other infantry. Not as good versus cavalry, obviously, but again, gives my general mobility and a little bit of ability to help swing a battle, especially if there's a bunch of skirmishers left or something like that. So that should be helpful. We can now research something new. Again, Part of me wants to get to this highest level military port and skirmish compound. And we also have this Royal Academy siege workshop, blah, 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 all that stuff too. We have the infantry compound, master weaponsmith. Carnute Senores, that would be very, very nice. Also very nice. It would only take me 8 turns to get there, which isn't that bad. It's not that bad. So I'm going to go ahead and do it, and then we'll go back to the civil tech. Yeah, that's definitely what I want to do. Okay, we've got a ton of priests in Britannia now. I'm going to put quite a few of them up here in Eldon to try and calm it down. There we go. This one, Aboricum, is actually in pretty good shape, all things considered. These Geats are raiding in my land, so I'm surprised that it's doing that well. We can go ahead and drop this guy to his agent stance. So now I have basically agents helping every province here. Camalodunum can be rebuilt now, so that's good. Things are in pretty good shape here overall. Oh, yay. We can go to the highest one here. Unlocks recruitment of Scoli, Palatini. Yay, I'm so excited. So excited. And with this, we can do the cavalry stables, which I'm going to do these down here too. Now, it's really just going to cost me upkeep, which it is expensive. But upkeep I can handle. It is the other stuff. Oh, yes, look at this list. Herculani Signores, Bracciati Signores, Celte Signores, Herluli Signores, Invicti Signores, all these different units. Jovi Signores, yeah. So we got a ton of units that we can pull out of. It is 8,000 to upgrade those buildings. Very expensive. But I do want these buildings. They are expensive. It's going to eat up some of my income, but eventually when I build back all the wine traders and other stuff like that, it'll balance out. It shouldn't be bad. And now I can defend this this coast of Britannia with this fleet. There's kind of a... I'm going to actually put these guys here in like patrol mode. Or no, that's double time. I can put them in patrol mode on the next one. But yeah, this fleet right here can't recruit units because it's not in friendly waters. So let's pull back across here. And I'm going to go ahead and recruit in a couple of these Liburnian galleys. And then that fleet should be in good shape to help defend Britannia. This army right here is now fully retrained. And it can come attack Ablana. But I don't want it to take any winter attrition, so I'm going to wait for the next turn before we make such a move. But we will be making such a move. I'm going to try and do some agent manipulation here. Critical success. Don't know exactly what we accomplished, but we accomplished it. So the army with Sextus has gained some more tradition. Integrity when in foreign territory, construction cost, wealth from industrial buildings in local province, integrity +2, recruitment cost, unit experience, recruitment cost, morale versus Eastern empires. Now that could be handy eventually. Could get up to 6 morale versus Eastern empires. Morale versus nomadic tribes would be nice to have too. I think that I'm going to do that, and the next time this army levels up, I'll do it again, so that this army becomes a lot more strong versus some of those empires that we continue to have to fight. So that's pretty cool. Alright, so the army of Sextus will be ready to get back to business in a couple turns, so we are basically 1 turn away from securing Britannia for the most part. Now we have a little bit of work left to do. I am going to go ahead and betray the crap out of these Geats because they're raiding in my territory, and I in no way approve of this or will allow it. So yes, I made peace with them. Yes, this will make me look bad to other people in terms of trustworthiness, but I don't give a fat crap. I'm going to backstab these guys thoroughly and quickly so that they learn a lesson about making peace and then raiding in my lands like a bunch of jerks. Alright, so gonna auto-resolve these guys out of existence. Yeah, who's big and tough now? You geek dirtbags. -9 integrity for ransoming? That's like the nice thing to do. Why would I get -9 integrity? Kill them. How about that for integrity? I don't get bad integrity for murdering a bunch of captives, but we get bad integrity for selling them. Makes a lot of sense. It really doesn't. I'm being, you know, like a little bit sarcastic here. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. All right, let's see. Wheat farm, cattle pens. I'm going to go ahead and turn this into the cattle herd, and then eventually we'll do more with that one. Let's go ahead and rock out the circus here. Got a food market already in this town. And we're going to have this temple eventually, which should help the public order situation. The governor's house would probably help as well. Think we should have enough food for it. But let's wait till a few other things upgrade and we get some other things built, and it should all balance out just fine. And like I said, up here we got a bunch of work to do. Let's see, we're working on that. Probably doesn't hurt to go ahead and bump this cattle farm up. What's the integrity problem here all of a sudden? Oh, that army left. That's what it is. It'll start to come back down and normalize, though. It's probably just because of raids and other stuff that's been happening. So, all right, let's go ahead and I think it is time to end a turn. There's nothing left to do down here in Africa. Oh, crap. These butthole Visigoths did get to shore, unfortunately. Bunch of jerks. Well, I've got an army ashore over here too, so if they go off trying to pull something, I'll stop them, and I'm going to go ahead and put this fleet in Syracuse to make it harder for them to try and do anything to Syracuse, and we'll catch the Visigoths on land. And like I said, the weird Egypt army just camping out doesn't make a lot of sense either. We can go ahead and start training this army. Yeah, stop the slouching. For goodness sakes. Alright, let's go ahead and end this turn. Trying to think what else we need to do here. So this governor has ranked up. None of this is going to make a huge difference. There we go. Let's pop through this turn in and see what happens. Man, it's nice to see Britannia nearly all in red now. All we have to do is capture Hibernia. Look at that. These guys just go way up there in the very northern parts of the island and camp out trying to hide from me. I will find you, and I will kill you. Correction, Sextus will find you, and he will kill you. Okay, that Visigoth agent, I'm going to try and get rid of them with one of my champions that's been around. Because that's pretty irritating. Another Visigoth crap stack out to sea that we're going to have to go intercept. So I will make a course to intercept them. Of course, I'm going to wait one more turn but to intercept them, because right now they're just sitting out in an attrition zone, and I don't want to chase them out into the attrition zone. I'll let them get eaten up a little bit, and then I'll catch them at a better position. Surprised the Sassanids are still at war with me. I've made peace with some of their puppet states, I think. Huns make sense. I don't expect them to make peace with me unless I've beaten them to a pulp. I think they just attacked the Quadians. If they did, I might make peace with the Huns. In fact, I might make best friends with the Huns. Maybe we could get used to this Attila guy if that's the way they act. I like how that army there for the Huns is called the Drifters, and they're just like set up in someone else's land, mooching. It's very nice. It's a good name for them. Yeah, I don't know what in the world you think you're doing, you Roman separatists, but if you're here to learn about a real Roman Empire, then I suppose you're in the right place. Some of you want me to retake Gaul. I will retake Gaul, but I mean, there's no reason for me to do it right now. The clan or the tribes that are there are friendly to me, so there's no sense in me doing that. Wavering loyalty. No one cares. Rebellion imminent? I'm sure it is. Alright, let's head up here to Britannia. Yeah, the Picts are just trying to stay alive at this point. A lot of good it'll do them. Let's see if we can get rid of one of these agents. Good. Got one of them out of the way.
At your service. My blade is quite
Here we go. We'll just kind of keep working those agents. It's going to help me rank up anyway. Exploit corruption and assassinate. There, we now opened up the assassinate option, which is good. And then we have oppress a foreign agent, call to arms, sabotage, sabotage army, sabotage walls. Yeah, I still say we bring that because then we could move ahead of the army and sabotage the walls. I just need to remember to do it. Okay, at this point, I think we should probably go ahead and siege the Ebdani. I mean, that is a lot of Ebdani. I mean, they're going to have a pretty substantial army, so let me make sure that I'm happy with what I got here. I mean, I got tons of stuff for chasing down their skirmishers, lots of tanky infantry, and some crossbows. So I think I am going to go ahead and come over here.
Set up a blockade. It is an honor to serve Rome.
Okay, I'm going to blockade the Ebdani.
Forming a blockade. Laying siege to the settlement.
And I now have these guys encircled. Let's see the full scope of what we're up against. It's quite a bit. It really is. And this army could end up in trouble trying to do this, but I do get the reinforcement of all these naval troops as well. I mean, if we attack their settlement right now, we'd have to deal with all the walls and everything else. I'm going to encircle, and we'll kind of just see what we can do. See if we can wear these guys down or not. This province, we're going to have to do a lot of work here. So we're going to have to go ahead and convert that. Let's get a religious building coming up. Let's get a forum coming up. That needs to be torn down. Let's get a waterworks underway. And I'm going to go ahead and put a capital here as well. There's not any resource here that I need to take advantage of. So yeah, let's put a capital. And then I'll turn this into like a, I don't know, some kind of trade or something. I will figure it out. Got a woodcutter though, and there's no reason not to build that up. There's no negatives to it. This province, or that settlement, I'm going to wait to finish building that up. So, but yeah, we'll get things rebuilt pretty quickly and pretty nicely here, I think. The governor's house, the herbs. Food is at 202, and it's not going to come down substantially off that at the moment, so let's go ahead and upgrade the herbs. That's pretty expensive, but it's also nice to have in terms of public order and just overall strength of the settlement here. Upgrade that to a cattle herd so we can build another farm chain building down there. Okay, this Visigoth agent here, I wanted to deal with him quickly. Hopefully quickly and decisively. There we go. At least got him out of the way. And trap a foreign agent. That's hilarious. Oppress and trap. We'll open up both. And then on the next turn, just we'll have to move him back into his army. They didn't attack the Quadians, unfortunately. I thought that maybe they had, but they have not. The Picts, I'm going to have to wait until the summertime to move up north to take them out. But once summer rolls around, we'll take Sextus over here and take care of the Picts. Get them off the map once and for all. And that should leave us in good shape. Hope you all enjoyed this episode. Heir of Carthage, signing out for now.